Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Dad's Turn to Talk. I am Josh, your moderator tonight, and I want you to remember to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We also timestamp the topics, so if there's a specific topic you'd like to go straight to, please feel free. And let's go ahead and introduce my partners in crime tonight. The first gentleman is the president of Hair Club for Men. Oh, sorry. Derek Tandro, how are you tonight, my friend?
Well, those intro classes have really paid off for you, Josh.
I've tried.
No, you clearly haven't.
What's going on, my man?
Coming to you live from Sacramento.
Yeah? How's that? It's Sacramento.
It's Sacramento.
Never been.
You're not missing much. Don't worry.
Are you by the Kings Arena by any chance, or are you like by the Capitol?
Yeah, downtown isn't like that far away. But I have no need to go to a Kings game.
No, I know. Was just curious.
The season's over, so
yeah, I don't think they're going to be doing tickets right now, except the Summer League.
Yes. Oh God, the D League.
Well, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for that, my friend. And the other client for Hair Club for Men tonight, Bobo. What's going on, my man?
Call me when LeBron has 6 championships.
Is that your only argument?
It's the only argument I need, Sean.
They're so good.
And that can go to every Kings fan, by the way. Send it out.
Oh my God. What's going on, Bobo?
not much, man. Doing all right. It was a busy day today, but looking forward to a fun show. Some fun topics to talk about tonight. A couple good trailers. It was a movie. We'll get into that. And so yeah, this should be fun. And then going to see Superman tomorrow. So looking forward to that.
Nice. You're going Friday. Derek, you're going Monday?
I'm going Monday.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We decided to go to the fancy theater, so we may do like dinner at the theater during the movie.
There you go.
Nice.
Wings and everything. Woo.
Ooh.
Very exciting.
That's
They have
good.
bottomless popcorn and bottomless sodas at this theater too.
Oh, that's awesome. What's it called?
Cinepolis.
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah. Very cool.
We don't do this too often, but for this one, we'll go big spender.
This
You
is
bunch
you.
of losers!
That might be the most perfect one you've done.
Yeah.
It's you and Dominic just going?
Yeah, it's just going to be us.
Okay.
Art was not ready for it, and Kate could care less.
Yeah. Okay.
No
Anyway, just actually want to just mention, I just want to give a little toast here real quick. The guys don't even know I'm doing this, but Monday is 14 years ago that my dad passed away. So, Dad, love you. Think about you all the time.
Shout out.
You're here. So, I'm taking a swig.
Our non-alcoholic drinks. So,
Yeah, I think he would have loved our show. I think he would have laughed very hard.
He would have.
Anyway, all right. Well, why don't we go ahead and get started, Bobo? All right. Well, before we start, Bob, do you want to hit the spoiler warning?
Yeah, I guess we should.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
And we will point out it's been out a week, so it's not like it's a huge spoiler warning, but just in case.
You never know if it's dads like us. Maybe they can't get there. So
Yeah, you never know.
you never know.
You never know. But I'll tell you this.
They might be lucky. So
Obviously,
maybe
we've all seen it. I don't know what Derek thought about it. Derek doesn't know what I thought about it. Bob doesn't know what I thought about it. So this will be interesting. Just
we know what Bob thought.
We know what Bob thought about it, but yeah.
well, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, yes, Jurassic World Rebirth came out on July 2nd. and did very well at the box office. And Bob saw it opening night. Derek just saw it this past weekend, and then I saw it on Monday night. So why don't we go ahead and get started with the review? You know, I got to start with Derek. I'm dying to know. What'd you think?
Hey, real quick, Derek, before you go to it, I'm looking at the domestic for the weekend.
Yeah.
It looks like the gross for the weekend was 92 million. I don't think that includes the 5-day weekend. I think for the 5-day weekend, it looks like 140. Oh no, the total gross up to this point, 147 million. And that's domestically. Actually, it's even higher than that. That was just for the weekend. So it's up to 174 million domestically, 174 million internationally, 349 million worldwide, and that is without any IMAX screenings. So just wanted
And
to
we're not even a weekend.
Yeah,
That's true.
So it made money.
It did make money. All right, Derek, let's hear it.
All right. So with regards to this film, that's what we're looking to call it. Okay, so one would ask themselves, so what exactly is this movie about? To which I can only say this about the story of the film. And because of that clip, you should know that they did not care about story whatever with this. They threw that right out the window.
Did you see it with your son?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which may not have been the smartest idea. He may have been a little too young for it, but
Yeah.
he saw it with dad, so
Okay.
he had a blast. So, yeah, there was nothing in regards to the story. Since we're doing spoilers here, basically the story is, we just have to get a bunch of DNA from dinosaurs so we can try to help humans with their conditions. Because I don't know about you guys, but it's clear that dinosaur and human DNA match up.
Right.
So that shouldn't be a problem here.
And one condition, heart disease. That's it.
That's the only one.
That's the only one is heart disease.
The only one. Because dinosaurs were able to get through it because T-Rexes were known to smoke a pack of Marlboros. So on that level, get at it. Whatever you think there is going to be story-wise here, get that out of your head. You're not going to this movie to see that. And if you are, you may just want to stay home. Don't even bother at all. There is some random family that shows up in this, probably because it has a little girl. And it's like, in the Jurassic movies, there needs to be little kids to be chased by dinosaurs because that only adds to the excitement. That was the only reason I could think that this family was even involved in this, because Lord knows the older daughter's boyfriend certainly proves nothing to me adding a value of. In essence, you're watching this movie for one thing and one thing only. You're watching it for dinosaurs. You're watching it for dinosaurs, and you're watching it to see them destroy things, eat people, and cause chaos. On that level, very good. Very good. A lot of fun on that level. Great action sequences with the dinosaurs. I especially like the pterodactyl one.
Right.
That was actually very, very fun action. I had a blast with that one. All of them were actually pretty good, even with like the water dinosaurs and those attacks. That was really cool. Then the story tries to kick in at the end, which it doesn't do a very good job of, because apparently when these dinosaurs were around, humans got sick of them, and so they had to genetically morph them into new dinosaurs, which I don't know how you do that. They never explain it, but it's there. So there's that. They look cool. Great action sequences there, too. That whole ending sequence is actually pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So the action is a lot of fun, but that's the one reason you go to watch this. There is nothing here, story or context wise, for you. You're gonna be very disappointed. But in terms, I can't say it sucked, because watching it with Dominic and watching those action sequences was a lot of fun. But it's not a movie where you're going to have theory discussion afterwards. Like, the beauty of the first one was the fact that it actually did ask a lot of kind of important questions. Like, when you do this, are you really playing God? If you do this, what does that look like for other species? Where do we actually know the limits with that? And it got you thinking. And those are all really worthwhile questions still to this day. This did none of that.
No.
Scarlett Johansson was there. She doesn't look like she is. She's never hard on the eyes. I like Mahershala Ali a lot. But yeah, that's the beginning and the end. It's just, you watch this to watch dinosaurs rip stuff apart. That's pretty much it. If you're looking for story, here's what you get.
Ah, yes, I remember.
That was
That's
good.
it. So,
That was
yeah.
good. Awesome. All right. Babo, go ahead.
I did take a camera with me and get some live footage of me in the theater.
I knew that was coming out. I knew that was happening.
Okay, just to be fair, I was in a packed theater and every single kid in that audience was going nuts.
Okay.
So I got to be fair.
Okay.
The movie also made money, so we're getting another one.
Oh, God.
So the movie started out pretty stupid. I mean,
A
I saw
rapper.
that Snickers bar, and I figured, why wait? I'm kind of hungry, And
Oh, yeah.
the fact that the Snickers wrapper is what caused the entire system to break down.
Oh,
Are you freaking kidding me?
yeah.
Mhm.
That was pretty stupid. The regular dinosaurs were fine. The mutants looked pretty stupid. The one at the end looked like the Rancor from
Star
Return
Wars.
of the Jedi.
Yeah, the D-Rex.
Yeah, the D-Rex. Yeah, I don't know why they had to have the little arms on there.
Oh,
I was
so
like,
weird.
You don't need to
kidding
show
me?
you don't need to show disrespect to the letter D.
Yeah, I thought
But at
that
least
was
he had the right
pretty stupid.
hairstyle and the right shaped head.
Oh, God.
I thought a lot of the dialogue was badly written. They tried to have this chemistry between what was the name of the character? The doctor was it Loomis?
Yeah, with him,
And,
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, and Scarlett Johansson's character, Zora Bennett was the name of the character. Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it.
No.
Mahershala Ali, I mean, you could tell he was trying to give it his best, but yeah, no. Ed Skrein, he was there and he died pretty quick.
He was there.
He was there for
When
5
he
seconds.
showed up, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. He's in this movie. And then he
Yep.
dies like in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I was
sure
like,
did.
wow.
He was there for 5 seconds.
The family. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Derek. I think they were there just to kind of have, a family running around. But good Lord, she's carried around that little baby dinosaur, Dolores.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There need to
I'm
be
like,
one
oh,
friendly dinosaur in the movie. There need to be one friendly one.
I'm like, this is pretty dumb.
Who she gets to take home with her, by the way.
Yeah, she gets to take home. Yet we found out all the dinosaurs died off
Okay.
everywhere else they were at because they couldn't live there. Now, this is one thing actually I did like about the movie is that if you watch Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, I felt like they wrote themselves into a hole by having the dinosaurs populate the whole earth. And they kind of wrote themselves out of that hole with this one by putting them back into a single location.
Contained geographic
Yes.
area.
But that also lends itself, or not lends itself. That also means you're going to get more of the same. That you're going to have to go to a location and try to avoid these dinosaurs because you're going to get eaten if you hang around with them too long.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's just more of the same. I felt that it's probably along the same lines as Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. I don't think it was any worse. I don't think it was any better. The problem with this, though, is it didn't have the novelty of seeing the original cast on screen, which at least the last one had, even though that was a bad movie, too. But, yeah, like I said, there's not really a whole lot here. There's a lot of product placement. I mean, wasn't that a 7-Eleven, that you had on
Dr. Pepper.
the island?
Yeah.
A fully stocked 7-Eleven, So I thought this was a ridiculous movie, but again, to be fair, the kids really did like it, and it made money. So whether I liked it or not is irrelevant because it made money. And again, the kids really did enjoy themselves. And I'm not going to lie, they were giving this thing an ovation afterwards. So
yeah, we got the same. That's right.
Yeah, so I can't knock it, even though I thought it was a pretty bad movie. But
maybe the rule goes both ways. It's okay to like a bad movie, but it's also okay to dislike a good one.
Yeah,
I don't know, because this wasn't a good movie. This was terrible.
Yeah, but apparently people liked it.
Yeah, there's no accounting for taste. I mean,
that's true. Another way to put it.
Crap, mega crap.
That's another way to put it.
But there were a couple things that were kind of cool. The scene with the Mosasaur, I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also the scene with the Tyrannosaurus on the raft. Yeah. I thought that was probably my favorite scene in the movie. Also, I was kind of hoping that boyfriend was going to get eaten by the Velociraptors.
Yes.
Sitting there taking a piss.
Yep.
And the raptors are about to come up and get him, and then the pterodactyls come and carry the raptors off. I was like, wow. So I was kind of hoping he was going to get it because I really didn't like his character, but whatever. I mean, this was a movie. It's another Jurassic World movie. It's more of the same. If you like the other ones let me rephrase. If you like all of the other ones, you're probably going to like this one. If you're like me and you really only liked a couple of them, you're not going to really like this one. But again, we're going to get more of these. That's pretty obvious.
All right, gentlemen. Well, now it's my turn. You guys have no idea, what I'm thinking. I did not like this movie.
I know exactly what you were thinking, Josh. You texted me a line where I knew exactly what you were thinking.
What did I say?
You said that Scarlett Johansson was the only good part of the film, or the best part.
First of all, I got to say about you. We always talk about theaters, Bob, and everything. I got there, not getting my tickets until I got there.
Wait, hold on, real quick. You told me that you hadn't said anything to Derek about what your thoughts were.
I didn't.
You did. I just told you did.
Liar! All right. Well, whatever. I literally.
No.
Oh my God! Can I just say my stuff?
Just admit you made a flaw.
Okay, I made a mistake. There you go.
Okay.
Anyway, I got there and the movie we were supposed to see, which was an 8:00 showing, was like sold out. So luckily we were able to get into the 7:30 one because they had 30-minute of previews. And
you didn't buy your tickets beforehand?
No, because I didn't think it was going to be that busy for a Monday night after 4th of July.
Gosh, it's a summer blockbuster.
I know. Anyway, it was my mistake. But I got to tell you, this movie was not good. I thought it was corny. I don't know why they needed that family there who added nothing to the movie. The fact that did you guys think that it took forever to get to the plot of the story?
No, the plot got there pretty quick. It was like, well, we're going to go take these, get the DNA for the dinosaurs. We found that out probably within the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Right, but to get there, to get to see the dinosaurs took forever.
I wouldn't say it took forever. I thought it was pretty quick.
Well, they tried to get all the story done in like a matter of 45 minutes, so then they could just focus on dinosaurs. That was what they did. They're like, let's get this out of the way, and then boom.
You're not wrong there, because it was what? It's a little over 2 hours, and
Yeah.
they probably collected all the DNA within the first hour.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought, like, to begin with, that whole the Snickers wrapper and everything was ridiculous. And then even I was talking to Trey today, and he had seen it, and he's like, and the way the guy died when he was trapped, like he was such a bad actor. And then he should have just gotten like his foot caught in the door instead of the Snickers wrapper.
Yeah.
Utter disrespect to Snickers. Absolutely utter disrespect to Snickers.
Yeah, it was so ridiculous. I will say this. Yes, I agree with you guys. The T-Rex scene was cool in the raft. And I don't know if you know this. In the book, and I only know this because Trey told me, and I had read the book, but like 20 years ago, that scene was in the original Jurassic Park book. And Steven Spielberg took that out. And Gareth Edwards, who did this movie, said he was going to put it in. So, I mean, that was, a cool scene. Other than that,
It was a cool scene, but you could have probably left the family out, and we could have probably just put the other characters into the raft.
yeah, they were so focused at that times on this family who just, to me, didn't do anything for this movie. Like, it was just so obvious. And then I would have liked to see Scarlett Johansson and, her group a little bit more. And they didn't even, in my opinion, fight the dinosaurs that much. I thought the whole thing was corny. To me, the best movies are the original Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and probably The Lost World are my
Lost
top
World
three.
sucks.
I know, but like, what else? I didn't see the other two.
How can you really fight a dinosaur though?
Well, I mean, they get away from them, and they, it just, the original Jurassic Park, and I just watched it recently, had so many suspenseful scenes in it. And like you said, Derek, it was something unique, and it was new, and it was like playing against God, And this was just like, it's like, how many times are you going to do this? Like, there was no.
If it makes that much money, they'll do it every time.
There's no character arcs. Like, there was no, like, we're going to steal the blood from and then, oh, well, are we going to give it to them? Or are we going to give it to the whole world? We'll give it to the whole world. The end. I just was
You weren't here for that.
Huh?
You weren't here for story.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You said it, that if you want to see dinosaurs and fighting, this is for you. If you want to see story, it's not there. And it isn't.
I got a question.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, they're riding off on that raft.
Yeah.
Boat or whatever.
I know what you're going to say.
And that boat had been sitting there for quite some time, right? Like 18 years.
Far.
Wasn't it gonna run out of gas?
That's what I thought. I'm like, how is this boat still going?
And that mosasaur is still out there.
I mean, seriously, how? Yeah, I agree with you. How does that keep going? And I could tell at the end they were trying to duplicate the ending of the original one.
Yeah, they had the same music and everything right at the end to try to create that nostalgia feeling.
I thought the D-Rex was interesting, but like Trey and I were talking, you talk about like marketing this new dinosaur. It was in it for 5 minutes.
I thought it was stupid.
I like how he destroyed the
Rex
helicopter
that they had in the first Jurassic World.
Yeah,
I thought that was a much better mutant than this one. This one just looked dumb to me.
They could
I
have
like
at
how he
least.
destroyed the helicopter.
The what?
How he destroyed the helicopter. I thought that was pretty cool. What were you?
They could have at least had like one guy who didn't make it off the island that somehow stayed there and was there all the way through this.
Yeah,
like a guy who had just gone mad, to help explain this a little bit more and put
That
a little
would've
bit more.
yeah.
Put a little bit more into that, and then you at least had a real story that you
It'd
probably
been
could have continued.
It'd have been like Robin Williams and Jumanji.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I was shocked because Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One, I was like, I really thought this would have been better.
Okay, but he didn't do all of Rogue One.
No, I know he got fired.
Remember, he got the first cut, which wasn't
Yeah.
is good. And then what's his name? Gilroy
Yeah. Tony Gilroy.
came in and fixed it. They
Yeah.
just gave Gareth Edwards all of the credit,
Would you
or most of the
please
credit.
Not do that with the Star Wars. Josh?
No, we're talking about a director
I understand, and you went right to Star Wars with that.
because that's what he directed.
Okay, I understand that. You didn't have to first pull that up.
Good Lord.
What else has he directed? I'm just curious.
Exactly. What else
Okay,
has
hold
he
on.
directed? I'm curious.
Oh, okay. He directed The Creator. I thought that was actually a pretty good movie.
What was that about?
That's one to write down. I gotta check that out.
It's like a movie about AI and stuff.
Okay.
That one was pretty good. He directed the 2014 Godzilla movie.
You saw that, Bob. You liked that one, right?
That's okay.
Or no?
I don't think it's terrible. I mean, it's a Godzilla movie. I mean,
Yeah.
fine.
It worked.
You know what? It's probably a better movie than the current MonsterVerse movies, which are just ridiculous, but the ridiculous ones are more fun.
So Scarlett Johansson was a mercenary, correct?
Basically,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was her whole purpose of this movie.
She had military experience to get paid, highly paid to do a job.
Okay. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that hard? Is that hard to understand?
No, I'm just shocked that this movie was. I just was not a fan
Hello?
of this movie.
Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think McFly, think.
I don't know. I was hoping it would be good, and yeah.
You know, again, the big problem with this is it's just more of the same, but it's not well executed. It's fine if you give more of the same. You could tell they were trying to play it safe. They were trying to give you just, the greatest hits. But the problem was,
No story.
it was like it was the greatest hits from a cover band, but not a good one.
Yeah. But
That's essentially what the problem is here.
Bob, what is the backstory? Why did they get rid of Chris Pratt and what's her name? Bryce Dallas Howard. Is there a reason?
I think they just wanted to like a soft reboot because the other was supposed to be like a trilogy with those characters. And then I think this is supposed to be like a brand new trilogy that they're working towards.
They were both good. I mean, they were fine.
Yeah. I thought they were good in the first one. I had no issues with them.
Yeah, I did too. I liked the first one.
I thought that one was actually a pretty entertaining movie. Is it a good movie? No, but I like it doesn't measure up to the original Jurassic Park, but what does? I mean, we're talking about one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah.
But Jurassic World, I thought was pretty entertaining. Like I would rate, for example, Jurassic Park. I'd rate that like a 9.5 out of 10. That's pretty close to being a perfect movie. And I'd rate Jurassic World probably about a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10, somewhere between there, because it's very entertaining.
I think an 8 out of 10.
And then all the others, much, much lower. It's like you've got Jurassic Park here, Jurassic World here, and then all the others are way down here.
Yeah. I mean, Jurassic Park 3 is the worst.
I don't know about that.
Really?
Fallen Kingdom, I thought was pretty bad. So was Dominion, and so was this one. And I really did not like The Lost World at all.
Yeah. The book was great, but I was a big Michael Crichton fan back in the day, and yeah, the books were amazing, and the first Jurassic Park was amazing. But Spielberg didn't do The Lost World, right?
Actually, I think he did.
Spielberg did The Lost World?
Hold on.
Yeah, right?
No.
I'm pretty sure he did. Yes, he did direct The Lost World.
Interesting.
Yeah, he directed that one. The problem with The Lost World is I think it would have been fine if it ends as soon as they got off the island. That's not what happened. Instead, we went all through San Francisco chasing the T-Rex.
Yeah, the T-Rex attacked the animals, and yeah, it wasn't good.
He messed a bunch of stuff up. If I'd say.
It's funny because we were talking last week or the week before? We were talking about all the great movies that Spielberg has done.
Yeah,
The Lost World wasn't one of them.
no.
No.
That was
You can't hit
that was
home
one
runs
of-
every time.
yeah.
You got to be fair.
Yeah, there was that was one of the few that he had an L on until he started getting a lot of L's later in his career.
You know what? You guys talked about the boyfriend and the dad. Oh my God, when the boyfriend saves the daughter and the dad's like, respect.
No.
And I just was like, are you kidding me? That's the line you come up with?
They were
Like-
there for one. They were there for one reason. To
Yeah.
have a little girl almost get eaten.
Yeah,
That
check
was
off
the-
boxes.
Yeah. There's a punch list. Play with
Well,
it.
I
play
think
with
I think it was to have the kids being chased by dinosaurs because that tends to do very well in the other films, having a kid in there, and so they needed to have a kid in this one.
Story though. You need a good the original one. You had the grandkid.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Ugh,
You can have dinosaurs running around and it'll make 318 million.
I
in
know.
one
Yeah.
weekend.
Well, is this going to hit $1 billion?
I don't know.
Probably not because of the lack of IMAX screenings. Plus, you got Superman coming out this week. But yeah, I mean,
We said it would be close. We all did say that.
what did I say? Did I
I
say
think-
800 million or 850 is what I
You
said?
said. I think you said 850.
I want to
No.
say, Bob, you said like 850. I said 950, and Derek was in the middle at 900.
I was
What was
a
the
little
production
over
value?
900. 905, I think is what I said.
Let me see what the production budget was.
I don't think any of us thought it'd be $1 billion, but we said it might.
Or come close.
Right. Correct.
Mhm.
Okay, the production budget was 180 million. So you're assuming probably 100 million for marketing, maybe a little more. So that's about 300 million. And you probably needs to make about 6 to break even.
It will make
So-
that. It will
Oh,
make.
I think
it
it'll,
will definitely make 6.
yeah, I think it'll make that because I think it'll keep making money overseas, especially.
What's funny is when we first talked about this after the trailer, in my head, I kept saying in the 7s, but then as we were talking about it and what they were doing, not necessarily domestically, but internationally. And Bob, you were the one that said that international has always come in very strong when it comes to this movie. That's when I changed when we gave our final tally, and Bob was like 850, and I thought 950, and then Derek said 905. That's where I changed my opinion on. But
It's
we'll
gonna be like
see.
the Price is Right here. It will be $1.
I know. Well, it's just interesting. It's like, okay, I mean, none of us were taking we're like, oh my God, this is awesome for the first trailer, right? I don't remember us really. I think it was the second
It
trailer.
was the second trailer that
It was the second where you saw all the shots of the dinosaurs,
Right.
which is what they were playing to.
Right.
this is another one of the films this year where I think the trailer itself was pretty good, but the movie was not good. And that,
No, it was not
the other one that was kind of like that was 28 Days.
Oh yeah,
Or
you
not
told me
28
about
days,
that.
28 years later. So
Yeah, it wasn't good. All right. Any final thoughts,
Oh,
gentlemen?
God. Okay, Josh, you like the action too. Shut up.
I thought it was okay, Derek. I didn't think it was that
Did you?
great. Let me ask
Hey, gosh, that's great to hear.
Derek, if you hadn't seen it with Dominic and you just went on your own, do you think you would have liked it as much?
I would have liked the action. That I would have liked. But that would have been it. I mean, I remember at the end of it, I'm just like, okay, well, you don't watch that for story.
No.
But I was entertained by a lot of the action. I was.
Okay. What would you
Is
have
it
graded
okay?
it? What would you have graded it? What's your grade on it?
A++, Josh.
I give up.
Right?
I gave it a 4 out of 10. Yeah.
Oh, I gave it a 6.
I was about to say probably a 6. I'd probably give it a 6.5.
All right, let me put it this way. I gave it a 4 out of 10, but I know, like I said, that a lot of people were entertained by this. So I have to acknowledge I'm probably in the minority on this one as far as being entertained by it. Now, I think most people will agree that the story's not good, but I think there were several that, like you, Derek, were entertained by the action of it. I gave it a 4 out of 10. I would have bumped it up a little bit had the Snickers wrapper not screwed everything up right from the get-go, because, yeah, that was terrible.
Bad. And then the woman's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Red smoke.
Good
A lot of it.
All right.
All righty. Well, why don't we go on to our next segment of the night? All right. So some new trailers.
No.
What?
We're not going to get into this until we talk about your behavior and what this was supposed to be. This segment. Okay? And you know what it was supposed to be, don't you?
You're kidding me,
You
right?
whined and complained to your parental guardian over there. That right up there. And you didn't want to talk about this because you were scared to talk to your other parental guardian about what would happen as a result of that. And so you went behind my back. No. Stop talking. Stop. What you did was wrong. And it was completely unacceptable.
What are you talking about?
Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about the Saturday night's main event thing?
Okay, shut up. What this segment was supposed to be was a review of Saturday night's main event where we're going to talk about Gunther and Goldberg. Okay? And because you didn't want to, no, shut up. Because you didn't want to, you went and complained Bob's way in order to get that done. And that's unacceptable behavior.
I'm sorry. I told you on the phone it's
Shut up!
No.
Is that you, Bob?
No, that was me.
Dude, I'm just here like piece of popcorn watching this.
All right?
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Shut up!
We just covered this a
I
month
want you
ago.
to keep your mouth shut.
What do you want to do with this?
No, I want you to admit what you did was wrong.
No, absolutely not.
Okay? Then you're going to shut up. Okay. Now, until you take responsibility for your actions, then you can join back. All right?
No.
Want to be kicked off? All right? What you did was unacceptable.
No.
What you did was unacceptable.
What are you talking about? Was
You
unacceptable?
bunch of losers!
That's exactly right.
I told you that it was ridiculous.
No, it wasn't ridiculous at all.
You always go towards that topic because you have nothing else to think about.
No, Josh, there was plenty of other things that we could have talked about with that, but you decided not to. Yes, thank you. Now you're going to mute and go offline.
All right, let's get to this trailer.
All right, fine. Now, do you see you ran away? Little baby.
I dropped my pen.
Oh, that makes it all worthwhile.
All right. Let's check out this trailer.
Enjoy your Goldberg Gunther match, Derek.
I will. Thank you. AEW All-In isn't going to make a damn thing, so I hope you enjoy that too.
Oh, yeah, that's why it's sold out. Okay.
Yeah, it's not sold out, Josh. They're doing a third of the capacity in the arena.
WWE needs a 59-year-old guy
ahead,
ready
Bob.
to retire to wrestle.
Quiet. Stop.
No,
Enough.
Shut
Quiet.
up.
No. Go
Okay,
ahead,
let's
Bob.
watch this, Bob.
All right, here we go. You guys see it?
Mhm.
No.
All right, here we go.
Please state your name.
Ryland Grace. I just woke up from a coma. I'm several light years from my apartment. And I'm not an astronaut. I'm not an astronaut. I'm not an astronaut.
If you don't go, you die. With the rest of us.
The sun is dying.
You are the only scientist who might know what this says.
I'm just a teacher at Grover Cleveland Middle.
You have a doctorate in molecular biology. I need you to come with us. This is Project Hail Mary. The sun is not the only star dying. Every star was infected by its neighbor, except one.
Why?
We don't know.
Which is why we built a ship to go there and find out.
It's 11.9 light years away. The astronauts die in space.
It's what you Americans would call a long shot.
Hail Mary. I get it. Who on earth is going to sign up for this?
If we do nothing, everything on this planet will go extinct.
You'll find a solution.
You are my solution.
I put the knot in astronaut. I've never done anything. I've never done a spacewalk. I can't even moonwalk. I understand the stakes. I do. But my place is in the classroom.
The world is counting on you.
This might be very hard for you to understand. But some people are not good at things.
You know who you are. You're gonna do great.
I conquered zero G in 5 hours.
Object approaching.
Oh my God. So I met an alien. He's kind of growing on me. At least not growing in me, you know, which was a concern for a little while. I'm Grace. I'm gonna call you Rocky. Thumbs up. Nope, that's thumbs down. We do the thumbs up. It's close enough.
Wow.
Okay.
That looks good.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
That looks kind of Armageddon vibes a little bit.
No,
I don't know about Armageddon.
That had
vibes.
nothing to do with it.
I thought so. Anyway, Bob, what do you think?
I think it seems pretty interesting. I don't really know a whole lot about the book that this is based on. I did look up like a brief synopsis before. This is the first time I saw the trailer. But according to the synopsis, he wakes up, you know, like I guess from a coma or whatever in space on this space station. And the rest, I guess everything else is like his memories coming back to him about why he's there. So this actually looks like it could be kind of interesting. He's basically got to save the world. And so, yeah, sign me up for this. This looks interesting, especially compared to some of the stuff coming out.
Yeah. All right, Derek, what do you think?
Next year, I think was the release date.
March of 2026.
Yeah, it's right after getting out of the winter season. All right.
And then I like that it's by the creators of the Spider-Verse movies. So
nice. Yep. What do you think, Derico?
Okay, Josh, listen, I'm still mad at you.
Brother, what a night it really was. Brother, what a night.
You know what? I'm mad at you too.
I don't care. I don't care what you're mad at. Shut up. All right. Anyway, now that that's over with, so this actually does. This is intriguing stuff. I was a huge fan of The Martian. I thought that was a really, really, really well done movie.
Good movie.
Yeah, and I think this has that kind of a vibe to it. I think the devil is going to be in the details with stuff like this, because whenever you try to make a really good space movie, the devil really kind of has to be in the details, because space itself, you know, is so huge that you kind of got to narrow down what you're really focused on. So I'm excited about the possibilities of what this is going to explore. And Bob, to your point, the fact that the Spider-Verse folks are involved in this too, I think is going to really help. And I'm a Ryan Gosling fan too. He's really coming to his own as a really good actor. So yeah, I think we're in for something really good here. I get a little nervous only because this is on Prime, right?
I think.
No, I thought it's in the
I think
theater.
this is going to get an actual theatrical release.
Is it going to get an actual theater release? I don't know why I thought this was on Prime. I thought I saw
I didn't
that.
say anything.
All right. If it gets an actual theatrical release, all the better. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But I think between the fact that we had all the elements that we just talked about, this should be really entertaining. This should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to hopefully get to sit in the theater and enjoy this rather than home, because this looks like it should be a theater movie. So I'm excited. I'm intrigued.
You mentioned that you're getting the Martian vibes off of this, and that makes sense because in the Martian, he had to carry a lot of the movie by himself, and I think that's what you're going to see with Gosling here, where he's going to have to carry the movie by himself. I'm also kind of getting some Interstellar vibes in this, that the Earth is dying out type thing. Yeah. Well, in this case, it's the sun that's causing it, but there's a reason why they need to be saved here. So this looks like it could be very intriguing, like you said. There's some good stuff here.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, I think we're all in for a good time.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was very interesting, something different. Very intrigued. Really enjoyed that trailer. I agree with you, Derek, about Ryan Gosling. He's really come into his own, and you're getting that, kind of making him. I'm just a teacher. I don't know anything else about, what you're talking about. And they're like, oh, yes, you do. You know what? We wouldn't be coming after you if you didn't know. And so it should be interesting. So I'm wondering if it's going to start with him on the space station, waking up and then going back. And
that's the impression I get from the synopsis that I read. That he wakes up on a space station and then his memory's coming back to him. So I'm assuming that's how the movie will be. Again, I haven't read the book, so I can't say for sure, but yeah.
Yeah, really cool. I like it. And hopefully it is in the theaters, because I think definitely that could be a cool movie to see. All right, very cool. You want to go on to the next trailer, Bob?
Yeah, let me pull it up here.
Okay.
All right, you guys see it?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
This is the first time you've ever willingly returned to a school. How does it feel?
Like returning to the scene of the crime. I already know where the bodies are buried.
Wednesday Addams. It is an honor to meet the savior of Nevermore.
Can I get your autograph? I only signed my name in blood. I would expect nothing less. I never said it was my own blood.
We need to set bear traps out here.
Howdy, Ruby. We're gonna have so much fun.
And where fun goes to die.
I know what those tears mean. What did you see?
Enid dies and it's all my fault.
I die because of you!
I will not let history repeat itself.
Secrets are the bedrock of the Addams family. The sooner I get answers, the sooner I can save Enid. Or die trying.
Women like us, we forge our own path. Dig our own grave.
What the hell happened? Wednesday happened.
Bravo!
Wednesday Addams is here. It's Addams with 2 Ds, like padded room.
All righty. Gentlemen, Derico, what did you think of that trailer?
So I did end up watching God, how do you pronounce it? Tuda? Is that what it was?
Which one?
The Netflix. It was like their. It was like their.
Oh
red-
yeah,
yeah.
the Tadam.
Yeah, Tadam. Thank you, Tadam. That's right.
Okay.
I did end up watching that. This was the one that was on last, which means they considered it a main event, and there's a reason as to why. This clearly did well, and is continuing to be very, very, very anticipated. What's her name? Jenny Ortega? Is that her name?
Jenna Ortega, yeah.
Jenna Ortega. That's right. She has the down clearly. There's she's pretty flawless when it comes to the Wednesday character. So all the applause to her on that. She's nailed it. It was nice to see Steve Buscemi with his red hair.
Yeah, I saw him there. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's fun. I love Catherine Zeta-Jones as Morticia. I think she fits the bill perfectly. It looks like we're going to get a little bit more of her this season, which I think is great. All in all, I'd say intriguing to start. With regards to the first season is fun. It dies a little bit down into a valley kind of around like episode 3 or 4. Then it picks back up. So it definitely starts and ends in a good place. So if they can do that for season 1, I'm hoping the same thing for season 2. Hopefully they can keep that middle part a little bit more elevated. But all in all, I like what I see so far. I'm sure I'll be entertained from what I do see. Or at least I hope I am, fingers crossed. But all in all, so far so good. So far so good. I'll watch.
Okay, Baba, what do you think?
I'm intrigued by this as well. I liked the trailer. I liked the first season. It's got a little bit of a detective type story to it, in that she has to unravel a mystery and come up with what's going on in the first season. And it seems like we're getting more of that in this one. It appears, and you already mentioned this, that you're going to see more of Morticia. It seems like we're getting more of the Addams Family period in this one.
Yeah.
My understanding, and I could be wrong, but I think Pugsley is supposed to be a member of the school.
That's right. He gets his first year. That's right.
So for that reason, I do think we are going to get more of the family. Jenna Ortega, I like her as an actress.
Yeah, me too.
Now, a lot of people were afraid, like when Beetlejuice came out, that she was basically going to be playing Wednesday in that. But, you know, most of the movies that she's done or roles that she's been in, I've enjoyed. I'm not saying she's like the greatest actress or anything like that, but I think she's solid. And as far as this role goes, she was made for this one. And I think she nails it. So based on what I see, I'm hoping for some good things with this one. Like you, I'll be entertained by it. Now, whether it's going to be a great story or not, that remains to be seen. One thing that's cool about this, and it was the same with the first season, but Tim Burton's fingerprints are all over this. That is clear. It's definitely a lot of his vision in this. So, yeah, I'm curious to see it. I'm looking forward to the first part that comes out in August. Next month. Let's check it out.
It looks good. The trailer looks good. I have not seen season 1. I'm going to attempt to.
Shocking. I'm going to pick that out.
Why do we got to be so insulting? Why don't we just say, if you have a chance, why don't you see it?
Because I'm so pissed at you.
No, I'm pissed at you too.
I don't care.
Well, I don't care either.
Okay, baby. 5th grade. You do that.
Good Lord.
How is that insulting? We're just like, we know.
Yeah. Anyway, the trailer looks good.
This is new.
Definitely get more. Shut up, Derek. This is ridiculous already, okay? Good God. You want to cover your Goldberg-Gunther match for the second time in 2 weeks? Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll sit back.
No. You were a baby. We're not going to do that now.
Come on. You go ahead and talk about your match.
No.
Go ahead. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to let you talk about your match.
Shut up!
Continue, Josh.
Unbelievable. No, it looked like a good trailer, and I get what you guys say. You know, you definitely it feels more of like an Addams Family show this season, from what I can tell. Whereas I guess season 1 focused a lot on Wednesday. Am I wrong, or?
Well, yeah. I mean, the show's name is Wednesday, so yeah.
No, I know that. But you guys are saying that this one
focuses on her. Yeah, the family is only in a handful of scenes in the first season. It appears they're getting more of a role in this one.
Yeah, it's
and they hinted that Wednesday has some sort of psychic ability, or not hinted. They showed she has like a psychic ability, and they hinted that the mother had the same ability. So I think we're going to get into a little bit more of that with this season.
Okay.
Honestly, between Stranger Things and this show, those two may be the big reason why Netflix is as profitable as it is as a streaming service right now. Because they're Bob, they're the one, right? They're the only one that's profitable.
Throw Squid Game in there too, because everybody was watching that.
Dang it, they were.
Which I didn't particularly like season 3. I watched season 3. I was talking with Lily today. She didn't like season 3 either, but I can't deny that everybody was tuning in and watching it. So,
did you guys know that at one time Blockbuster Video was going to buy, or that Netflix went to Blockbuster Video and offered to sell to them for $50 million?
I didn't know that.
Started, and Blockbuster Video said, no, thank you. We don't believe in this.
Really?
Yep. A guy at work today, we had a meeting, and yeah, we had a presenter, and he talked about it. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Do you want to know why they did that?
Why?
They were buying out Blockbuster Video because they wanted to eventually phase it out into streaming. Streaming was always their goal.
No. Netflix was willing to be bought out by Blockbuster Video. They went to them with an offer of $50 million to say, buy us out.
Okay. No, the story still holds true. Netflix always wanted to go to streaming. The DVD was just an intermediary.
Got it.
That was never the concept. Was DVDs. It was always to go to streaming.
And they said that Blockbuster didn't even counter. It was just a flat no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they were not interested in the DVD business. They were interested in the streaming business.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And look, they're the only one.
When Netflix first started up, they were just running everybody else's programming.
Yeah.
They were just streaming,
I don't even remember.
Or not reruns, but seasons of Friends and stuff like that. We could watch all the old TV shows and stuff. And of course, that's when Hulu and some of these others popped up. But it's once they started getting original programming, that's what kind of set them apart. Now, don't get me wrong. Netflix has had some real stinkers.
Yeah.
But what streaming service hasn't?
Yeah.
When it comes to like big global phenomenon type shows, I think Netflix has had the ones that have hit those. Maybe Paramount with Yellowstone, but and you could argue maybe HBO Max with like Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. But again, those are also shown on HBO, so that's a little bit different. But with Stranger Things and Wednesday, Squid Games, I mean, these are ones that became global phenomenons.
I would say
when they win, they win.
Stranger Things, right? Pretty much was the one that really.
That was the one that started it. Yeah. Squid Game came on second, and then Wednesday was the one I think that really let people know that.
That's the more recent one, yeah.
Yeah, Netflix has great original. Can. I mean, they've had stinkers too, like Bob said, but it can have really fun original content, and it's showing. Plus, they've had great. What Netflix does really well is it diversifies themselves. So they've also unleashed a lot of great stand-up specials as well, which is great.
What year did Netflix come out with the whole streaming thing where you could? It had to have been like
2014.
Oh, was it 2014? Because I thought Hulu was like 2012.
Here, I'm looking it up right now. Hold on. Netflix launched streaming service in January 2007.
Really?
Making a significant shift from its DVD by mail business to the Watch Now business.
Didn't you used to like rent from Netflix, Bob? Or was that Redbox?
I used to do Redbox.
Okay.
But you could rent from Netflix, and eventually, though, they switched over to streaming.
Okay.
It wasn't a bad idea, DVD was, to do that. It was actually very, very smart, the way they did that business model. So it worked.
I still miss Blockbuster. Those were the times.
There's one left.
In the Midwest, the guy said today? Is that right? I thought it was in Alaska.
For what?
Or Oregon.
Portland.
For Blockbuster. The only Blockbuster left.
It's Portland, I thought.
That's what I thought, but he mentioned the Midwest today, but see, check it out.
It is in Bend, Oregon.
Wow.
That's the last one.
I know someone who moved there. That's funny.
My wife's cousin lives there.
Yeah.
You know what Blockbuster really, the way they could have capitalized on that, they should have turned it into an older man's like den.
Yes.
They should have had like a nice like home theater system in the back where you have like a couple of arcade games, a pool table, place where you can get like a little bar where you can get drinks, and try to capitalize on it that way. Make it a real interactive experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Bring your wife there for a date night, but whatever it may be.
Oh, that's a good idea. That was a good idea.
Well, there's only one left. I don't think we're going to get that anytime soon.
Yeah.
We may have just thought of a business.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. All right. Very good. All right, Bob, let's go to our final topic of the night.
All right.
Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound. I need a Skrilla on the Rilla.
I knew it. I knew
I was dancing.
All right.
That's Eric's song right there.
That is my song. That's great.
That is so good. All right. So
Eric absolutely loves that one.
Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound. I need a Skrilla on the Rilla.
So good.
Come on.
It's our national anthem now.
Money makes the world go round.
All right. So, yeah, we decided we wanted to talk a little about the 2025 box office trends. There was an article that came out. Bob is going to share it. And basically titled The Takeaways PG Movie Score, Superheroes Remain Shaky, and Budgets Are Just Too High. So, Bob, you want to kind of go through the article here?
Yeah. So the article is basically looking at the 2025 box office up to this point and kind of some of the trends that we're seeing and kind of where the box office is at. And here at the beginning of the article, they point out that revenues are up 15% from 2024.
Okay.
And at that point, I guess like at the same time last year, because really up to this point last year, really only Inside Out 2 and Dune Part 2 were really the only movies that were doing anything last year. And they're pointing out that some of the movies that have done really well this year, we're looking at Sinners, partly because the budget was so low and yet it did extremely well at the box office. Lilo and Stitch and Minecraft. Again, it's up 15% from 2024, but this is still down 26% from 2019, which was the last pre-pandemic year. And what's happening is they're not getting close to those levels, but the budgets keep
going
exponentially growing. And we're looking at films like Thunderbolts, Mission Impossible, Captain America. These are all movies that had pretty high budgets. Even F1 had a really high budget. And what's happening are the studios are taking big financial risks and they're not seeing the return off of that. So just some of the big takeaways. One is that PG movies are actually doing pretty well.
Right. Better than PG-13.
Which I guess they didn't expect because they're used to seeing like the PG-13 movies generating the most money. However, that's not the case this year, where we saw Minecraft hit 954 million, Lilo and Stitch 948. And I actually think Lilo and Stitch has actually gone ahead of Minecraft. Let me see. Yeah, right now they got Lilo and Stitch at 976 worldwide. So it still might hit $1 billion. Not quite sure if it's going to get there or not, but it is possible. Let me see. Sorry. Okay. Another thing that they did point out is that How to Train Your Dragon is at 519 million. So all the PG films have made 1.72 billion since January, accounting for 41.5% of the revenue to date. Now, Pixar wasn't very lucky with Elio, which made 73 million and massively flopped. They're saying that could be there's no brand recognition there, and maybe that had something to do with that, where Minecraft, Lilo and Stitch, and How to Train Your Dragon all had that big name recognition. Then they want to point out that comic book movies haven't done very well this year.
Right.
Now, in all fairness, we still got 2 to go. We still got Superman and we still got Fantastic Four. But up to this point, we've had Captain America Brave New World, which was a flop, Thunderbolts, which was a flop. And they do point out that Thunderbolts was actually very well received. So the question is, are people just upset or just tired of comic book movies? Or is it that there's a ceiling for comic book movies now? Because there was a point where these things were printing money, no matter what movie it was. You slap Marvel on it and people were going to go out and see it. Now they're suggesting that maybe if it's not a well-known character like a Spider-Man, Batman, maybe there's a threshold for a comic book movie. They also point out that Mission Impossible didn't do very well, and a lot of that has to do with the budget, because right now it says 576 million. Let me see what it's currently sitting at.
And it was 300 million, right, to make?
400
million.
Yeah. That's not even close to breaking even.
No.
Yeah, let me see real quick. I want to get you an accurate number.
No. It bombed.
Okay,
right?
so yeah, 576 million. So it 952,000. So it's almost at 577. So it's pretty much almost run its course. Really, the only Mission Impossible that did really well was probably Fallout. These movies tend to make around the 600 million mark. So I don't think there's anything here that's really a shock with that. But the budgets keep going up, but they're not generating any new fans. And so they're saying that maybe this franchise needs to hang it up. They also point out some of the indie films that didn't do very well. And again, they point out the budgets on these films. Mission Impossible, the production alone, they say, cost upwards of 300 million, but I think it actually was more than that. Snow White, 270 million. Captain America and Thunderbolts, they say each of those was 180 million, but we do know for a fact that Captain America was probably higher than that. F1, it looks like the budget for that was 250 million. Again, a really good movie, but I don't know if it's going to make back what it needs to make. So yeah, that's kind of what they're looking at here at the trends, that you're seeing big hits with these PG movies. Some of the comic book movies not doing too well, and some of the big blockbusters just aren't landing. So those are just some of the trends we're seeing through 2025. Personally, I think some of it has to do with kind of what we've talked about, that going to a movie is an event now. If you're going to pay that much money, you want to go to something that is worthwhile, and people are taking their kids to these PG movies. They're ones that their kids want to see, and because they're spending the money with their kids for that, they're not going to see something else. There was a day when every weekend you were at the movies and you were watching whatever was out. It didn't matter what it was. Not the case anymore. I think the way going forward for Hollywood is they really need to rein in these budgets. Make more movies like Sinners. Sinners was a good movie with a much lower budget. It had a very interesting story, some good action, good acting. You look at and then if you are going to make like these big blockbusters, you might need some name recognition, like a Minecraft, Lilo and Stitch. I'm curious to see what Superman's going to do. It looks like Jurassic World, with its name recognition, did well. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Mission Impossible, I think they overestimated that's appeal because of Tom Cruise's big hit with Top Gun. I think they were hoping that the last Mission Impossible and this most recent one were going to do better than what they did. So the budgets blew up, but budgets also partly blew up because of COVID. But
right,
that doesn't have a fan base. That's a very niche fan base to begin with. It's not going to be a fan base that's going to grow a lot of new people. So just kind of what I think. They need to rein in those budgets.
Okay. Derico?
Okay. Actually, I wanted to ask Bob a question, but I'll wait for that. Let me talk.
I'm here if you want to ask me.
Okay. Bob, you said last summer was just the pits, right? Like there wasn't much doing there.
I don't remember really a whole lot going on. Let me see.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Inside Out 2. It was Dune Part 2.
And that was really it, right? I mean, those were the only two.
No,
you remember?
Okay, so $billion movies. Okay, here was the worldwide box office in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So Inside Out made $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Worldwide made 1.6. Deadpool and Wolverine 1.3.
Oh yeah.
Moana 2 at just a little over $1 billion. Despicable Me and Wicked was next with 750,000 or 750 million. Mufasa 722 million. Dune 714 million. So you had $3 billion movies, and of those three, two were PG movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then Despicable Me at number 4, just under $1 billion.
And
so
one
3
R-rated.
animated movies.
And one R-rated, right?
And one was an R-rated. But let's be honest, that was an event movie. That's
Correct.
why everybody went to go see that.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Derek.
Okay, so this then comes down to 4 things that people come to the movie for. People go to the movie theaters for.
Sure.
1, is it a name, a brand that you can recognize? Because even though Jurassic World, whatever the name was of that movie, but even though it was a bad movie, people still saw it. Period. End of story.
We all saw it.
So it has to be a brand. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, it has to be something that you can bring your kids to, clearly. Else, it seems like it's hard to make money. And Ballerina is the perfect example of that, Bob.
Yeah.
Because you would think that would be a big hit, but it did not make money at all. Nothing.
Yeah,
Wow.
you would
Just too
expect it because the John Wick movies had progressively better box office.
Exponentially bigger.
And again, it's a spinoff, so it's not going to make as much, but you expect that to at least make half of that, maybe 3/4 of that last one, especially because John Wick was in it.
True. Very true. Maybe they just didn't feel like it was enough John Wick. I don't know. Something didn't click with that. Number three. Yeah, it is. It is. Number three. If you're trying to make any type of an indie movie at this point, don't bother. That goes to TV. That's where you watch those stories, is on TV, because they do great stuff that indie movies used to do in terms of that kind of storytelling on TV. If you watch Ozark, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That could have been an indie movie. They decided to spin it out, and it became something really great, if you guys haven't seen that. The other thing that I have also kind of learned here is that directors and writers can actually go a long way in terms of, you know how like back on a poster you see Stallone and you would go to see it there. Tom Cruise, Bob, we talked about him. You would think that, that would be the draw. It's actually now more directors and writers that are a potential to be a star. Say what you will about Ryan Coolidge. The reason that Sinners got the audience that it did was because of his name associated with it. That's what happened there. So to me, it looks like it's got to be the three things. If it's got name recognition, a big brand, if you can take your kids to it, if there's a good writer or director associated with it. That's the only way that you're going to get that kind of pull into a movie at this juncture. Because you would think that F1 would have done well too. Business isn't there.
Real quick, just to kind of, they talked about how this was down 26% from 2019. In 2019, and this is for the whole year, of course, this is not just for up to the same point, but in 2019, $9 billion movies.
Wow.
And one of those did over 2 billion, close to 3.
Which one?
Avengers Endgame did $2.79 billion worldwide. The Lion King live action did 1.6 billion. Frozen 2 1.4 billion. Spider-Man Far From Home 1.1 billion. Captain Marvel 1.1 billion. Joker over $1 billion. The Rise of Skywalker over $1 billion. Toy Story 4 over $1 billion, Aladdin over $1 billion, and then at number 10 was Jumanji: The Next Level with $800 million. So, I mean, that's just kind of what we're looking at. I mean,
they're not as inspired. They're just not.
Yeah, they just haven't recovered. No. Now there is one movie that has done really well this year in the worldwide box office. This movie, Ni Sha 2. I have no idea what the heck it is.
Man,
but it's made $1.89 billion. I think it's some animated movie.
Oh, yeah. Those can do very well.
It's like an animated foreign film or something like that.
It's like Ponyu. I mean, that was
something like that. But apparently, it's doing really well. So,
okay. All right. Well, yeah. Look, Bob makes a great point. They haven't recovered yet. That's it. Bottom line. But the scary part is, are they going to recover? I hope so.
If Lilo and Stitch doesn't hit the billion mark, there's a real possibility, especially with the revised estimates for Superman, that we don't have $1 billion movie until maybe Avatar.
Wow. And that's the end of the year.
That's a very real possibility. A couple that are close, but
so
go ahead, Josh.
Well, no, I just want to say this. There's a couple things because I remember Derek, I think it was you, Bob, if I'm wrong, let me know, who talked about going to the movies and how much it costs. The other night, and I don't know what you guys spend. I know, Bob, you go all the time. My friend and I went, and I paid him back for 2 of us to see a 3D movie that included popcorn and a drink. $66.
Jeez.
$33 for each of us. I sent him the Venmo today. And I'm thinking, who has that money? Like, I don't know, Bob, what do you, when you go alone, how much do you, what was it, 14?
All right. When I go alone, because I got to point out that I've got I'm part of the platinum membership over at Cinemark. Well, I signed up for the movie club, but because I had already gone so many times this year and they had tracked that through my app and my spending, they automatically upgraded me to the platinum.
Do they know you by name?
What's that?
Do they know you by name at the theater now?
But with that, I get a couple of movie tickets free every month, and then I get 25% off concessions. So for me to go by myself, let's assume that I'm paying for the movie.
Okay.
I don't go often to the XD showings. I tend to go to the standard showings just because it's a little cheaper.
Right.
And the ticket for that is usually, depending on what time of day, usually about, we'll say $12.
Okay.
About $12. And then I get a Coke and a hot dog, maybe a second hot dog, or a bag of chips. One of the two.
Yeah, third hot dog.
No, I won't get that third hot dog, but hey, you got to count those calories. Yeah.
Sometimes a man wants a double dog. What are you gonna do?
Never popcorn. Bob's not a popcorn eater.
No.
Okay.
I got my reasons why, but anyway.
Okay.
So for that, with my discount,
I'll
probably get that for another $10 to $12.
Okay.
Because again, I get the 25% discount. So yeah, I mean, I guess for that it's about 24 total to go see a movie.
Okay, Derek, you're taking Dominic Monday. You said you guys are going to Sinopolis. How much?
Yeah, but let me take a step back. Kate has enrolled us on the rewards program for Century Theaters too.
Okay.
So I'm trying to factor that in the equation.
Right. That's standard. You said you're ordering food, going to the movie.
No, it's probably around what you said. Yeah, somewhere around there.
Like I can literally I mean, we're going to see Superman.
I mean, maybe a little less because I took a kid, but not that much.
I mean, I can go play a round of golf or at least 13 holes after 5 o'clock at night, cheaper for what it is to go to a movie now.
But this is different. You're going to be talking about that movie probably for years to come. You're not going to be talking about that round of golf come the next day.
I know, but still, I think
we've seen video of you golfing. Trust me.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. Believe me, it's money that's wasted, Josh.
Oh God. I think my point to both of you is that it is so expensive now to go to these movies because of the fact that they also have such a high budget. I mean, that's got to be a huge factor now. Is that
I don't think it's just the budget. I think a lot of it is just inflation also.
Well, people don't have the money to go in. And the other thing is, we talk about one of the big things, and Bob, I know for sure you talked about this, was when COVID hit and you had like Tom Cruise telling people, get back into the theaters, right?
Yeah.
What happened during COVID? Max was releasing things, right? You were able to sit at home, watch a movie. Think about it. What do we pay for Max? Like if you pay for the advertisements, maybe $15. If you don't, if you have an advertisement, $10. And then you're not.
I do think that streaming has hurt
big time
theater experience. That's a big thing because people know that if they wait a month and a half at most, it's going to be out on digital.
Yep.
I mean, and even if they have to buy it on digital or rent it on digital, they can rent it for $19.99 and watch it at home as opposed to paying $15 a ticket. Like, let's just say in your case, Josh, 3 of y'all. That would be, $45 or more just for the tickets.
Not counting food.
You could rent it for $19.99 on Amazon.
Yeah.
As a new release while it's still in theaters.
Yeah. It's killing the movie theaters. And now AMC is trying to do cheaper deals on Wednesdays here. I forgot how much. Maybe $5 Wednesdays or something. So I'm curious how that will be. And again, who's going to go to the movies? Think about it. Everyone's going to see Superman because it's notoriety, right?
No. That's not a guarantee now. It's not.
You don't think so? I think
No,
it's still.
I don't. No. Unfortunately, and I'm not trying to get political here, the minute that news came out that Superman is an immigrant movie, that hurt it. It just did.
That played into it. Yeah, because what ended up happening was, I saw, like, the interview that it first all started from. James Gunn had pointed out that this is a movie about immigrants and that it's about kindness, which is something that we've all lost. And the way it was said, a lot of people jumped on that one. And then out at the red carpet, his brother sure didn't help anything by the answer he gave.
What did Sean Gunn
he was
say?
asked the question. Now, in all fairness to James Gunn, I think James Gunn was smart enough to pull his answer back because he was asked again on the red carpet, and he said, look, Superman is for everybody. It's about kindness, and that's something we can all relate to. That was the answer that should have been given to begin with. Now, from what I understand, I have not seen any reviews, but what I understand is that a lot of what they're making this out to be in the media on both sides, the movie actually has nothing to do with any of it.
Okay. That's my point. None of us have seen this yet. So how do you really even know if it's about like immigration at all? Can it just be about Superman?
You know what happened? House of the Dragon had a similar issue when season 1 came out, where the actresses and actors were coming out and saying, well, it's about this and it's about that, and throwing all these political things out there. And it was really causing a lot of people to sit there and say, oh, I don't know about this. Is this going to be just a bunch of political mumbo jumbo? And then they watched it and they're like, what the heck were they talking about? This had nothing to do with any of that. And I think what happens is, I think it's two things. I think you have Hollywood who they'll turn around and they'll make something, and then they'll try to make political commentary after the fact and try to make it seem like this is something about that. Like, for example, Superman was made before Trump was even in office and immigration even became a big political hot topic. And now in retrospect, I think the media was trying to portray something that just wasn't even there, and was getting people on both sides all riled up, where I think that's going to affect its box office.
Yeah, well,
and that would suck if that affects it, because at the end of the day, I just want to go see it. I just want a good Superman movie.
Well, and that's okay. So that's what I think, Bob. First of all, I'm with you. I don't think James Gunn was trying to make this political. I really don't think he was. I think he was trying to maybe relate it to modern times, like like why you see a movie, like what why this would make you want to get up and go watch a movie. Now, was the wording intelligent with that? Well, okay, I guess it depends on which side of the aisle you're on. But at the same time, if it really is just a Superman movie, we don't need to even go there.
Yeah,
it's fine. Don't. Every project has its own merit, like you said. So then, let's not read too much into it. is my point. I think everybody should see this movie.
Yes,
it's Superman. Come on, man. Like, let's go.
Go check it out and make up your own mind and see if it's any good or not. I mean, but like I said, from what I've heard, and again, this is I haven't actually heard details of it, but I've heard people that I trust as far as their opinions go. I haven't read their spoilers or anything like that because I don't want to know details.
Yeah.
But the one thing that they said is, I don't know why they were making a big deal out of this because this film is not woke at all.
Okay,
So,
well then go watch, folks. Come on.
Yeah.
So I want to go around real quick and ask each of you, give me one reason you think that movies right now are struggling. Derek, what do you think?
Just one?
Just one thing that you like. I have mine. I know what I think it is.
Well,
But
you go first.
I think streaming. I really do. I think streaming has led to many people saying, why do we need to get in the car, drive to the theater, and pay 40 something bucks when we can just be at home, we can make popcorn, and we can rent a movie that's still in the theaters for 19 bucks. So that's my opinion.
You basically just hit what I was going to say. The problem is motivation.
Yeah. Okay.
The problem is motivation.
Yeah.
People don't feel motivated, and that could be for a multiple dimension of reasons. Whether it's too expensive, whether it doesn't entice them,
yeah,
whether they feel like they can get a better experience at home, whether they feel like it doesn't deserve, the price tag associated with what the film is. There's motivation is I think the big factor with all that.
Let me ask you this real quick. Do you think, like the Marvel shows that have been streaming big time, right, in the last 4.5 years, if they had gone to the theaters, you think we would have more, what's the word I'm looking for? There wouldn't be, like Bob said, apathy towards them, that maybe it would have been a better story. And
okay. The comic book problem comes from two parts. One is oversaturation.
Okay.
It was just too much content.
And that's the streaming.
For the sake of having content, the content wasn't good.
Right.
The second part is because of that oversaturation, people have gotten fatigued. And if they had honestly put the brakes on the whole Disney Plus thing, or not even like just canceled it, but slowed it down, paced it out, thought it through. If they had done that, we probably wouldn't be in this situation right now, honestly.
Okay.
We really would be in a much better situation, I think, where maybe you only got one Disney Plus show a year. That was it.
That'd have been better. Maybe two movies and one show.
2 movies,
make
one
them
show.
events.
Yeah, exactly. 2 movies, one show. And a summer blockbuster, a winter blockbuster, and put that Disney Plus show anytime in between. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Go for it. The same could be said for Star Wars too, honestly. So
yeah. So motivation from you, I think streaming. Bob, what do you think?
Yeah, there's really too many things. It's not just one thing, because you both bring up good points with the motivation, streaming. Price tag is a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that these movies aren't marketed very well like they used to be.
Yeah.
They don't feel like events that you need to go see. There's only a handful of movies that feel like an event.
Yeah.
That you need to go see. So if people are going to go spend their hard-earned money, they want to be motivated to go see it. That they're willing to ignore streaming to go see it on the big screen. And we know there are movies that people will still go see.
Right.
We're looking at, Spider-Man No Way Home. When did Avatar 2 come out?
Last December?
3 years ago?
2 years? Was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago?
2023?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
2022.
Oh, 2022.
Okay.
Really?
So 3 years ago by the time it comes out. That was over $2 billion. Top Gun Maverick.
That was awesome.
Deadpool and Wolverine, Inside Out 2. I mean, Barbenheimer. With Barbie, and I think Oppenheimer made just under $1 billion.
That was that summer was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was.
That was when I thought that movies were really going to gear up again.
To be honest, Oppenheimer probably would have made $1 billion if it was not rated R and maybe was about 30 minutes shorter. And the reason I say that is because they would have gotten more screenings in and more people would have gone to see it had it not been rated R. So for that reason, they probably would have hit the $1 billion mark, and you would have had both Barbie and Oppenheimer hit that. Yeah. But either way, it was marketed as an event that you had to go see. So there's a lot of factors that really go into this. And yeah, you factor in that people are taking their kids to see movies and they're going to see these name recognition. Yeah. If you want to fix the problem, it's a combination of things. One, you got to get better writing. You want to get people to want to go see this stuff. Right. It's got to be worth going to see. It's got to be marketed better.
Correct.
Again, it needs to feel like it's something you have to go see. The cost needs to come down for the theaters. Yeah, and a lot of the reason why they're going up, I don't think are the production budgets, because at the end of the day, the theater keeps half of the cut anyway. I think it's the fact that people aren't going to the theater as much as they used to, so they're raising the price to offset the cost or offset what they're losing. And then you factor in actual inflation, so the cost is going up. So they need to bring the cost down.
Yeah.
And then for streaming, minimum 6 months before it goes to streaming. Kind of like how it used to be for a DVD, minimum 6 months. VHS, it was even longer. I mean, you'd have to wait a year, but it should be like 6 months minimum.
The DVD was the re-release. That was where they got the uptick on money from what they did in the theater. They got the second boost.
And that's another thing. The studios aren't getting that boost from the home video release anymore or the DVD release. So they need that money to be made in the theater, because the way they get it in streaming doesn't work quite the same as what it does if you're selling physical copies of it and you can mark up that cost. So yeah, they need to come up with something, but I think minimum it should be 6 months. And that would encourage people to go see it in theaters more, because it's like, oh, well, we better go see this, because if we don't, we have to wait 6 months and they're going to ruin it for us. Now, that's just kind of what I think, that those are some things that you can do to make it better. Is it going to solve the problem completely? No, but I do think if you eliminated or fixed some of those things, then I think you would see people begin to go back out to the theater more often anyway.
But the problem is, Bobo, you mentioned about waiting 6 months for the release, right?
Yeah.
The issue now is social media. Social media ruins movies now, because
that's my point. If I had to wait, in some cases the films are out like 2-3 weeks later. Mm-hmm. So if I had to wait just like a month and a half before it comes out to streaming, I have a better chance of not having the film ruined for me in a month and a half as opposed to 6 months. I'm not saying that I won't find out, but it's easier to avoid it for a month and a half than it is to avoid it for 6 months.
Right.
That spoiler. That's all I'm saying. Plus, if I know I'm going to have to wait longer before it comes out to streaming, then I'm probably more likely going to go see it in theaters, because it's like, I don't want to wait 6 months. Let me go check it out. But again, it has to be worth me going to see.
Right.
I have one more suggestion.
Yes.
What's that?
There's a way movie theaters can get creative here too.
Okay.
They don't have to wait for the next great movie to come out. I've already talked about how if you have a season finale on Netflix, talk to Netflix, find a deal where the season finale or series finale, even, which would be bigger, can be put into the theater. Doesn't mean you have to go see it, but it's on there if you want it. And you make it exclusive to the theaters for like 2 weeks, a month. You call it. But it'll be on Netflix later on. Now, a lot of people will probably, just wait for it. Right. But at least if you want to see it, it will be there. People may get enticed. You never know. In addition to that, if kids are going to theaters, start putting more arcade games in. Start putting more amusement stuff in it.
Yeah.
Make a place for birthday parties. Like a playground structures, things like that. In addition to that, if there are both kids restaurants and grown-up restaurants out, set up things where you can do a date night. Where hey, F1 is out, but you're gonna. I'm just giving an example in my neighborhood. There's a restaurant right outside our theater called Fresh Catch. Okay. So hey, we're doing a date night special. This much and you get a discounted movie ticket, or if you watch the movie first and you get half off dinner or something like that. I don't know, but there's a lot of ways that movie theaters can get creative here too, to bring in business, to get people to get up and go out. So don't lose sight of that either. Get creative. Yeah. There's ways to do it.
Hey, just real quick, Derek, you were pointing out as far as like putting out, season finales and stuff like that. Just an example, The Chosen. We talked about that, on this podcast. That has gotten theatrical releases for the last few seasons, and it's supposed to for the next season as well. But I'm looking at the box office for the Chosen for season 5. They released it in 3 parts, and that made over 35 million at the box office. It was 19 million for the first part, and the second and third part each got 11 million. And then the entire Chosen, as far as its theatrical revenue, when you count the others from the previous seasons that were released, over 100 million mark. It's broken the 100 million mark. Right. So, but that's for a TV show that's supposed to be coming out to streaming here pretty soon. In fact, they released it to Amazon because they just signed a deal with Amazon for an exclusive release. I wanted to point this out because that made 38 million. On the flip side, when the Revenge of the Sith re-released for its 20th anniversary, that made 42.2 million. So we're talking just a little bit less than a Star Wars movie on its re-release, and we're talking about a TV show. So there is money to be made there if some of these networks or not networks, but some of these streaming services and stuff would put some of their shows out for a theatrical release.
So and let's get back to that point. The Chosen. I'm not trying to insult anybody here, but that's a niche audience, right?
Correct.
Yes. That's a church-going audience, but that made money.
Yeah.
That made money. Jaws in our part of town, I don't know about you guys, but that's about to re-release.
Yeah, in August. I'm planning to go see that.
Okay, so that's another way to do things too. All right. So you have these little gems that you can take advantage of, make events out of. Halloween is a perfect time to start re-releasing things again. That's business. Think about that.
Yeah.
Leading up to Halloween, you could do Lord knows how many nights of movies of re-releases. Think about that in just 1 month.
Do it. What is it on? Is it on Freeform where they do like the 31 days of Halloween or something like that?
31 days.
Turn around and do it in the theaters.
They do 25 days of Christmas.
Every night, do a different movie.
And have like Century Theaters promote it. Say what you're going to do. This weekend, we're going to do this, and this.
But there's one thing that concerns me. Like, you make sense, Derek, but the one thing that concerns me is you said the word re-release, correct?
Yeah.
What about the new stuff? What about new movies? How are you going to get the audience into
the idea with all this is to diversify the portfolio within movie theaters. So if there is new stuff, that could entice you.
Okay.
If there is, shows that are involved, you got that. And if there are re-releases. So now you have a diversified portfolio within a movie theater. Go check it out. There's going to be some that you could watch.
Okay.
You've got a loaded spectrum there. Take your pick. I mean, that's what I think a movie theater would do really, really good at, is just having a diversified portfolio of stuff to watch. I think if you have that, that'll start rocking. I really do.
I think you've come up with very good ideas. I think your idea of one streaming show and 2 big movies a year is very good. I think when you talk about making the theaters like a date night and having a place for the kids and arcades, I think that is brilliant. I think that helps. And I think I can get behind you're watching something on Netflix, but the finale goes to the theaters for 2 weeks.
Look, Stranger Things is a perfect example of what they could do there. Okay, so we already know that the finale for Stranger Things is supposed to come out on New Year's Eve, on streaming. Why not like 2 or 3 days before New Year's Eve?
Yeah,
release it for like a special one-night release for like an early screening, and just that finale, and have people go see it, and then you turn around and do the full release, on New Year's Eve. Because judging by the way season 4 ended, as far as it feeling like, or not feeling, being the length of an actual theatrical release or a feature film, I'm pretty sure they're going to do that again. I would not be surprised if the season finale or series finale for Stranger Things is 2.5 hours, if not a little longer.
Which is a movie in itself. That's a movie in itself right there.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Put it in theaters for at least it doesn't even have to get a full 2-3 days or anything like that. Like a 1-day release, make it an event.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that you can do. You can really make some money off this, man. Let's say Halloween has the horror movies, the kids movies, the new stuff. And then you get into the holiday season, same thing, rinse and repeat. All of that stuff in one shot.
Yep.
And then what makes that even more enticing is the fact that, let's say you're a family of 4 like me. Okay, it's your turn to take the kids to this movie, hon. Okay, very good. I'm going to go watch the re-release of, what's a great Thanksgiving movie?
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes, exactly. I'll go watch that. Okay? Which they should re-release. They should re-release that. So if they do all of that in one theater, you see where I'm going here? The operational model is so good in terms of the transit that people can get into theaters for. Options.
And the thing is that they've been doing re-releases of a lot of these films for a while, but market it,
promote it.
Get it out there. That's the thing. Promote it.
Yes.
Because a lot of times you don't find out about it until after it already happened. Or now Jaws I'm hearing about because it's the 50th anniversary, but a lot of these, we don't hear about like for example, Back to the Future should be getting a release for this year. It's the 40th anniversary. Why isn't it being released?
That should be the first thing you promote.
And Universal Studios is all about Jaws right now. We were there last week, 2 weeks ago, and they had a guy dressed up like Quinn that we took a picture with. They had the show. It was so cool. Charlie loved it. And they have food dedicated to it, but you don't see it out. I think the Hollywood Bowl here had a screening of it. So, but elsewhere, I don't know if you guys see it or not. If you
they're doing a screening over here, but it's going to be in August.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, that's where they're re-releasing it. But I got to tell you, Derek, I'm going to pay you a compliment, even though you drive me crazy. Your brain for business is amazing. You should be a business teacher. The stuff that you come up with on the fly like that. Don't you think, Bob? The stuff he's saying about how to
You mean all the common sense stuff?
Huh?
You mean all the common sense stuff?
Wow. You know what?
You didn't think of any of that?
Oh my! How he talked about how the diversified portfolio. And
I thought we made mention of this before. I didn't think I was saying
about
anything.
like the arcade and doing this and how you have to market this. We've never discussed that. You really, Bob?
Yeah, we have.
Bob's just upset I didn't compliment him. I've known him for 40 years.
Well, no, okay, but that's what I'm saying is that movie theaters have to do this both ways, right? They gotta make the movies themselves that are new have to be of quality, which is what Bob was getting to with the writing. But okay, if people aren't enticed on the new stuff, that's your backup squad, the re-releases and all that stuff. So, everything can be in play.
Yeah.
Now, Derek, you're not seeing Fantastic Four, right? You've made the decision.
I'm not going to bother with that. Nobody needs to see that shit.
Why?
No.
What? How could they change your mind, like on seeing this movie? It's a Marvel movie. It's a comic.
They can't. I've already made it up.
It's and the reason is just based on the trailers. You have no interest.
No, none.
Okay.
None. Okay, sell me, Josh.
Oh no, I don't need to tell you on that. No, I'm just thinking like how, because the Fantastic Four is well known versus the Thunderbolts, which wasn't.
Okay, but here's the thing with the Fantastic Four. We're also talking about a comic that when they've made their movies, they've never really done all that well. I mean, okay, the first one, yeah. And
yeah.
The movie itself, or not the movie, the team itself, it's kind of a dated team when you think about it. When you look at their power set and everything like that, it's kind of hard to get movie audiences excited about them. And then you factor in the cast and everything. Except for Vanessa Kirby, I'm not like completely sold on the cast.
Okay.
And even then, Vanessa Kirby they should have probably casted an actress that was a little bit younger, because I think Vanessa Kirby's, I'm wanting to say she's close to 40, and Sue Storm is a little bit younger.
No, she looked good at 40, though.
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm excited to see her in the role. Okay, so she's 37 years old, but I think Sue Storm at this point in the movie is supposed to probably be a little bit younger. So I think they probably, especially if you're going to have these characters for the long haul, is kind of what I'm looking at.
So let me make a point to that, and I've said this before. That is a Disney Plus show. That's a Disney Plus show. It is too much to try to pack something like that into 2 to 2.5 hours. Let that spread out. 8 episodes, an hour each. That is where you get the money with that. Because then you really have time. Make it like Star Trek. Have them be in a spaceship. Go to outer space. Explore things. That's a perfect show. It could be Marvel Star Trek. It would be fantastic. It would be great. But they just insist on trying to do this over again and not get it right. And I'm telling them how to get it right.
So what if Bob and I come back and say we thought it was very good? Who I doubt we will. Will that change your mind?
You won't. So I'm not going to worry about that.
I'm just saying, would that change your mind, though?
You won't. So I'm not worried about it, okay? This isn't reality. What you're saying, all right? It's just not. You're going to hate this. You're going to wish you didn't. That's fair. But you're going to hate it.
I'll say this, I'm not excited for it.
Then where are you going to see it?
Because I'm hoping that
because it's Marvel. Because
it's Marvel, and I'm hoping this will, kickstart them and get them going again.
This isn't going to kickstart them at all.
Probably not.
No.
I don't know.
All I can say, Josh, is that the movie you should have seen this summer was F1. That's the one you should have seen. That's so far that's been the best movie of the year.
Okay.
And it sucks that it's not going to make that money. That's been the best movie of the year.
Okay.
That is freaking fantastic.
Well, we'll see what's happening. Any other things,
No.
guys?
No, take our suggestions, movie theaters, and promote it. Make yourselves the spot to see again.
Yeah.
Because that was the cathedrals when we were kids. So come on, man.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about stealing whatever we were just suggesting here. It's free. We want to see you succeed, so go for it. Take it.
There we go.
All right, gentlemen. Very good. Derek, where can we find you?
Well, it reminds me of when I was a child, which again makes me feel old when we're talking about movie theaters, which again, I can be found with the old people on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Nice. Bobo?
You can find me on my YouTube channel at Bob Loves Movies, also on Critic List and on X.
All right. And you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and TikTok. All right. Well, thank you guys for tonight. It was fun. And we will talk to you soon. Have a great evening.
You guys have a good night.
Bye.